First of all, I would like to thank Asma Jangir Foundation for organizing this conference um, in a time where there is hardly any space available where one can speak. Because we have seen that the media is very much under control, the parliament is very much under control, and the same is the situation with our judiciary. And I would also like to condemn the refusal of visas to our Afghan speakers. Like our state, they are very much, happy to welcome Amir Khan Muttaqi and provide him a state protocol, but they can't give, visas to, I would say, true Afghan representatives. And it itself, this act defines the actual policy of Pakistan. Well, when we talk about Afghanistan, and I think almost it has been discussed from each and every angle. But I would like to endorse what my friend said, that it is the same repetition which we have seen many years ago. And it is happening in the same way. Started from the Doha agreement, the way Afghanistan was handed over in a smooth way. I think it speaks volumes about what was the objective of the US and their allies for Afghanistan. 20 years, for 20 years they have been in Afghanistan, and for 20 years they have been some sort of operating this war from Balochistan. And for the same 20 years, these Taliban had sanctuaries in Balochistan. So both were controlling their war from Balochistan and a province of Pakistan, and fighting it in Afghanistan, but they were not confronting each other, because everybody knew that even the Taliban knew that there is a base in Balochistan, and even the Americans knew that there is a shura of Taliban, in Kuchlak and other areas of Balochistan. But they were fighting in Afghanistan. So it itself, clarifies the objectives of the Western powers and their policy about Afghanistan. And that's what happened after the Doha deal. Taliban, they were given legitimacy, and they were given an internal strength. And the way and I have heard many advocates of who are of the belief that we should work on reconciliation with Taliban, and I have seen them now with the opinion that the Afghan army was trained to be collapsed. So this is, things will get clarified more with the passage of time, when the stories will come out, that how these things get happened. But something which I would like to say is that all the regional powers who either remain silent or they played some sort of a controversial role in this current destabilization of Afghanistan, they will have to pay the price of the collapse of Kabul. Because now the only thing, a lot has been discussed, that which kind of rule will Taliban opt. I believe that they only know how to destabilize. They don't have any policy, and they do not have any program of service delivery. And after all, more than that, they have always been a proxy And whoever have handed over Afghanistan to them, it wasn't for the sake of Afghanistan, and it wasn't for the sake of building Afghanistan. It was just to pull it towards a controlled chaos. And unfortunately, it will keeps going on like that. History has once again repeated itself, and Afghanistan has once again been sacrificed by the international powers for their own objectives, and it will cost another generation of Afghans. And I agree with my friend that Taliban, they are now an even, I would say that Pakistani government, because they are behaving like our foreign minister, he behaves like a foreign minister of Taliban, not Pakistan. And the way he is on one side advocating for a recognition of Taliban, but on the other side, he is not, providing space and permitting the entrance of Afghans and the humanitarian crisis they are facing, and nothing has been planned for that. And till now, there is no refugee law. And even as mentioned before me, that even there is no policy, because I have also consulted and asked through many sources that there is no policy with UNHCR also so far. People are coming here and they are getting registered, and they are of the perception that we will be we will be called within a week or two, and we will be sent somewhere else. But the reality is they do not have any policy. The humanitarian crises are approaching, and one of the report of the UNDP says that 97% of the Afghan population, it will sink below the poverty line. And also, as Khatak Sahib said, that winter is also approaching. It will boost the humanitarian crisis. Well, to end it, once again, that this current episode of Taliban, it will definitely have an impact on all the regional countries. And as I said in the start also, that all those who had played a controversial role, specifically Pakistan, I think the cup of tea with which DJ Isai was smiling in the Kabul Serena, I think sooner or later they will have to regret it. And finally, I would say that, and especially it was followed by, I don't know that, I don't remember whether the statement of the Prime Minister was before that or after that, when he said that Afghans have broken the shackles of slavery. And I will see that what gonna he say when the same shackles of slavery keeps breaking in the leadership of Nur Wali Masood, and we will see what is the stance and what is the statement of Prime Minister Imran Khan at that time. But once again, I repeat that the game they played in Afghanistan, Afghanistan has already been suffering from last 40 years, but this time it will spread in the entire region, and unless and until all the regional countries they work together to reinstate the republic in Afghanistan, I don't think so that there is any other way out.
The whole political future of the country seems to be now depending on talks with the TTP, despite the fact that the TTP have killed hundreds and thousands of Pakistanis over the years. And not only that, but we've been through this talk process with Musharraf. 6 or 7 times the Musharraf regime made a so-called peace with the Pakistani Taliban. And it was broken, and another peace had to be made. And if you recall the time when they nearly took over the whole of Swat. Right now, there is now talk about talking to the TTP and winning them over. And so I would like to ask you both. First of all, I thought the TTP had all disappeared. They'd all been killed and were no longer present. Yet every day we read about soldiers being killed on the border in Fata by the TTP. So tell us what is going on, Mohsin.
Well, first of all, it is once again a contradiction with their own statements. They have been telling us, and they have been telling the entire world that um, broken
Terrorism.
terrorism. हमने उनकी कमर तोड़ दी है. But when they, attack with the same broken back, and whenever, wherever they want, they can attack, and they have been attacking, and the attacks, I think in the previous 2 months post the collapse of Kabul, the attacks have increased, and their presence and their movement has also been very much visible after that. There is the same army in Waziristan and all the rest of the merged districts, but the presence and the movement of these TTP and all the other groups in their areas, it has increased and it is more visible. And once again, I would say that they have gone and that they have got an immense strength after they have taken over the Kabul, because I agree with Abdullah that it is an illusion that it is a victory against the entire world, what they say. But for them it is, and they have got strength from that. They have got ideological strength from that. And now, before that, they used to be in prison, and now they are out of that. And when they were let free by Taliban, the deputy chief of TTP, when he reached Kunar, he said that how come is that possible that there would be a Sharia in Afghanistan and no Sharia in Pakistan? He said that we will fight to implement Sharia in Pakistan also. And from the point of view of Pakistani government or the military leadership, I don't know, but what I believe, I think they are not in a position, maybe they are not now in a position, or they might be worried of some consequences, because before that, the way they fought the so-called war on terror, there were too much foreign aid associated with that. But this time, all they have to do is on their own, and nobody is coming for their support. So again, we have been demanding a truth commission to investigate all this war and terror, and to bring on record whatever has happened during these military operations, what were the achievements, and how come the TTP still exists. I think they are getting, as Khatak Sahib also said, that they are getting, they are finding their ideological siblings in other parts of the country also. Like the way when TLP had an agreement with the Pakistani government, TTP congratulated them. And we have categorically said that there is no space for these people, and society will not accept. But I think there is a plan to hand over the region, some sort of some areas of our region to this. But there is, this time there will be, and there is a great public reaction, and we will not let it happen.